to the Marshall Township Planning Commission meeting of today, May 13th at 7 o'clock. I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. Again, welcome to everyone. Commissioner Sly, could you do the roll call for us?
I can. Commissioner Summers.
Present.
Commissioner Woods.
Here.
Commissioner Johnson.
Present.
Commissioner Riggs.
Here.
Commissioner Buller is excused. Commissioner Sly is present.
Thank you very much.
You have
We
a
do have a
quorum.
quorum. Thank you. We could stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We need a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Support.
Any questions or comments related to the agenda? With that, we have a motion by Commissioner Riggs, seconded by Commissioner Woods to approve the agenda. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
I'm going to recuse myself from the meeting tonight because we've come across an issue. Commissioner or Supervisor Bozzard has asked me to be the deputy supervisor, and I agreed. And at the time, we both thought that I could serve both. But since then, we have found that I cannot serve on the Planning Commission. We just found that out today. I made Mr. Bozzard aware of it. And I told him that I would serve on either place that he wants me to, and he said he would get back to me. So I would prefer to stay on the Planning Commission, but I will serve the township in any capacity that he desires. So to avoid any conflict or legal issue, I'm going to recuse myself and go to the audience.
Thank you. We still have a quorum present. So with that is now the opportunity for public comments on agenda items. The agendas, as well as the full packet, are in print form out on the table there if you don't have a copy of either one of those. Again, this is for agenda items only. There'll be another opportunity for public comment at the end of the meeting for general, anything that you'd like to talk about. But again, this is agenda topics. If anybody would like to come to the podium, please do so. Mr. Lindsay.
Commissioners, Richard Lindsay. I'm here tonight on behalf of the Marshall Area Economic Development Alliance. I reside at 15509 17 Mile Road, also a Marshall Township president. I just wanted to give a quick update relative to, we have obviously been watching your work with the master plan, so I just wanted to comment on a couple things relative to the master plan. First of all, Aaron Reed, who I think at this point, I think you all have met Aaron one way or the other, working with the fire station, different things. He went through the existing zoning district map that was prepared, and he's got a list of several things that we are questioning whether they're correct, whether to the Maida property. And so it's like where the 425 is at, what some of the zoning is. I'm just I can't read them because it came out so small, my readers, but I'm gonna just hand it to Joanne at the end so you'll have it. And then I will also email it to you so you can talk about that going forward. And we'd be glad to talk with you about that. Another issue that we have relative to the master planning, there's some inconsistencies in where the overlay district exists relative to Michigan Avenue. We talked about this area right here last year. It's still on the map reads as though it's the road that's not there anymore. And so it would make sense to change that in our mind. It also, as shown on this map, wouldn't apply in the 425 area. So it seems like that should be corrected on the south side of Michigan Avenue. And then when it gets over to the 12-mile road intersection, and again, I'm going to talk about this at the end because this isn't really on the agenda, but it seems like it ought to be tweaked there to acknowledge that, because by the time it's wide enough, it's going to make those lots basically unusable. And so there needs to be some tweaks done there, but I'm going to talk a little bit more about that at the end. And then the other thing relative to the master plan, well, obviously, we would request that the master plan remain as it was previously set, that the area owned by MEDA remains at master plan as industrial district. And the other piece that has developed, and obviously I'm thinking you've seen this as you've driven around and watched this, MEDA has acquired all of the properties in the Glen Eden subdivision except for one. And so we have,
What you just said, what did you
we
say?
have acquired all of the properties in the Glen Eden subdivision.
Oh, Glen Eden.
So that is the little piece that kind of sticks within this large industrial area. Wayne's going to point at it.
I think is this
Right.
right here?
Yeah, yep, it's the yellow area. So that we are going to request, and we will submit a formal request for this, that be master planned as industrial. And so the plan right now is all those houses are going to be torn down. There's one that hasn't been acquired yet, and we have an offer into him, and obviously we can't force him to sell, so he may decide to stay. But that road is going to be eliminated as part of the MDOT improvements. And essentially that plat is going to be vacated. So those individual lots won't be there anymore. It's just going to be a large piece of property there instead of the individual lots. So again, we'll submit a formal request, but I wanted to just raise those issues. I'm glad to answer any questions if anybody has any, but thank you for your time.
Any other public comments on agenda items? Hearing, Connie, did you, go right ahead.
Okay, I would prefer the new master plan. I think it's updated. I think it's better than what we had. I'm not so sure I want to see so much industry and other service concerns come in. We've got enough right now, and I think with the city's data center going in, we've got enough. We've got enough for this area of Calhoun County. I'm hearing other townships are putting holds on stuff like that, whether it's solar farms or data centers, to look further into it. And I think maybe we should do that as well. I think we've been taken advantage of, frankly. And I would like to see agricultural and residential stay as they are. I think the new master plan does a better job of protecting the residents. So that's just the way I feel. I live across, or well, not across, but I live close to Hotchkiss Cemetery. And there was a marker in there that was I guess an antique, in order that it was like a tree trunk. I don't see it from the road now. I don't know if it's still there.
Sure.
So that's something I would like to know, because it was one of those arts and crafts type tombstone, and from the road, I used to be able to see it, and now I don't see it, so I don't know if it's been damaged or been removed or what. But that's at Hotchkiss Cemetery. I see you've got a stop or a suspension of contract for Dave Brown, excuse me. And I'm really against that. He is doing the best he can. Yes, he is slow as molasses. But if you look at his business, it's well maintained. The grass is always mowed. You look at buds next to him, it is horrible. And I just think that if you're going to make him put up fencing, you should make Buds do some landscaping or something. I mean, it looks like a mud pit. And one thing you've got to watch out when you come on that road, you got to watch them coming in and out. I've had to stop there and wait for them to get their big rigs in or out of their lot. So it's kind of a safety issue with that. But I don't see a big problem with David Brown's. No, he doesn't have the complete fencing up, but you can see he is doing it. So, yeah, that's my personal opinion. Thank you.
Thanks, Connie. Any other comments on agenda items? All right, moving on. Thank you very much for those comments. Commissioners, it is now a great opportunity to consider being our secretary. As you know, our secretary, Christina Martinez, was appointed to the Township Board. She had served as our secretary from when she came on to the Planning Commission. On the agenda, you can see the excerpts that are noted from our bylaws. And this is something that we must have. I will let commissioners know that I did reach out to Steve Buller because he was not able to be here tonight, just in case he was interested. And he is not interested in serving as our secretary. So, commissioners, thoughts? Anybody interested? Well, we're going to be here a long time because somebody has to do it. So it does. Yep, I did make that note. It indeed does. Pays an additional $60 based on the township's 26-27 approved staff salaries and budget. Excuse me.
How long would this tour of duty go for?
Well, at minimum, I mean, certainly that's something that we could potentially put back on the agenda at a future time. But certainly there is an election of officers per our bylaws held annually. Commissioner Woods?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Very good. And just for the purposes of understanding that Commissioner Woods is an ex officio member from the Township Board. He cannot serve as chairperson, but he can indeed serve as secretary. So.
Thank you, Mr. Wood.
All right. Well, for the purposes of this wonderful opportunity that Commissioner Woods is ready for, could we have a motion in that regard?
I'll make a motion to appoint Mick Woods as secretary of the Planning Commission.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? Well, I would first like to say thank you very much. And I have got notes from the front portion of this, so we can certainly share that information for this meeting's purposes. So thank you very much. And there always is an opportunity. We can connect after and touch base with Christina, who, you know, is more than willing to help in transition. So with that, we have a motion by Commissioner Riggs, seconded by Commissioner Summers, to appoint Commissioner Woods as our secretary. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Okay.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Congratulations.
Just like to pass on that whoever made the motion and supported, I know where you live.
All right.
So, but furthermore, should we have someone from the general public come forward and want to volunteer, we can vote on them.
Well, we do have a vacancy, and it is up to the township supervisor to make that recommendation to the township board, who makes the appointment. And so I'm certain he is trying to figure that out. But as an opportunity here, if anybody is interested in serving as a township planning commissioner, to please have them contact our township supervisor, Dave Bozzard. That's what we need to do at this point. If you know anybody, reach out?
I don't know.
Anybody here in the audience is interested? Okay. Anyway, moving on to item H, the selection of alternate for the Joint Planning Commission. This position as alternate was held by Christina Markounis, again, our previous secretary, and now a member of the Township Board. So we need to make the selection of that alternate member. And I want to make a little bit of a clarification. Commissioner Woods, myself, and Commissioner Riggs serve on the Joint Planning Commission.
So at least one person.
And so the process of elimination at this point, now keep in mind, which we clarified last evening at the Joint Planning Commission, if an officer position gets vacated on the Joint Planning Commission and it's held by a township member, that alternate, whether it be from the city, I should say, or whether it be from the township, assumes those duties as an officer, as chair or vice chair. So it's important that we make sure everybody understands that when they potentially assume the role as an alternate. So who is interested in being on the Joint Planning Commission? Did I miss something, Commissioner?
Mr. Buller might be interested in
He may
that. We
be.
didn't ask.
Yeah, that I didn't ask him that. Thank you.
I was gonna ask you that.
No, I did not ask him that. I didn't even, I apologize. Again, we're not going to have, the next Joint Planning Commission meeting is ahead of our next meeting. Well, potentially, depending on what we set a public hearing date. Is anyone willing to hold that position until which time we can revisit it when we have a full planning commission? Rather than to postpone action,
So-
because I'd hate to postpone action and then potentially an individual might be necessary as an alternate.
I guess I can.
Thank you, Roger. All right. Can we have that in the form of a motion, please?
I'll make a motion that the planning commission appoint Commissioner Summers as the alternate commission member for the joint planning commission.
Thank you.
Second.
Any discussion? Commissioner Summers, I'll reach out to you too and give you an update in between now and,
Prod me along.
no, just a bit of transition, so
Yep.
I'll share
Okay.
information.
Yep, very good.
All right, with that, we have a motion by Commissioner Woods, seconded by Commissioner Riggs, to appoint Commissioner Summers as the alternate to the Joint Planning Commission. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, we are now on to the approval of the minutes dated April 7th of 26. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll support.
Any questions, concerns, corrections, or anything to the minutes? All right, hearing and seeing none, we have a motion by Commissioner Riggs, seconded by Commissioner Woods to approve our April 7th of 2026 Planning Commission minutes. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you very much. We are now on item J. This evening, we had initially planned to have a public hearing for Mr. Kyle Paulus. It is a zoning map amendment. However, due to ensuring that we're meeting the timelines per Michigan compiled law MCL 125.3103, we need to set a new date. We did, of course, reach out to him and the neighbors who had been sent letters. Thank you, Shelley Briggs, our zoning administrator, who assisted us in that capacity. I don't see anybody here for that this evening, so I think the message got out. Thank you very much. So we need one of two things. We either need to set that public hearing for our June meeting, or we could potentially have a special meeting, ensuring that we could still meet the timelines for notices in between now and our June 2nd meeting. Shelley, yes, please.
The applicant did not seem like he was in a substantial hurry and was not real concerned about us trying to schedule a special meeting to get him into that.
Thank you for that.
One thing to consider, and this is what was part of the reason why it didn't get on today's agenda, was it took us, when we went to get it into the newspaper, they weren't able to get it into the newspaper slot because they didn't have room in that edition. So part of the issue was we couldn't get it into, we needed to have more time in advance for the newspaper to be able to have a spot, a secured spot for the public hearing. So like sometimes we can get it in, but in that particular issue, they were not able, they had no additional space.
So does it have to go in the Marshall Chronicle as well as in Battle Creeks too? I mean,
No, it has to be in the advisor. The advisor didn't have space for it during the time that we needed it. So it needs to be published, so there's a difference between what needs to be posted and what needs to be published. Published means it has to be in the local newspaper.
The only thing is to,
we have very few locals.
well, I do want to mention, I think it was Diana Delaney at one point too mentioned that some of the residents in Marshall Township don't get the advisor, they get the shopper. So, again, but to still, I think to satisfy the law, as long as it's published in the, let's just say the advisor that meets or complies, right? But with that,
What's the lead time?
I think it's 15 days or,
No, that's what I was gonna ask.
The
What,
newspaper needs 2 weeks before that newspaper that would come out. So yeah.
How do they-
now you're talking at least 5 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's.
That'd be after.
so we can,
I would like to see if we can maybe find a better method of getting that published. Most of the other townships, if you provide the information on Monday, they can get it into their paper by Friday. It's not normally a 2-week, normally it's 3 to 5 days.
I agree, but I'm saying in that particular instant, when we went to do it, they're like, no, we don't have any space.
I understand that, but do you have to give it to them 2 weeks ahead of when they're gonna publish it?
To guarantee it's.
a space, to guarantee your space, right?
To guarantee there's space.
Yeah,
That's what they
guarantee.
said. They're like, there's no guarantee. The other thing I'm looking into potentially, and this is something I'd have to bring up to the board, is seeing what would be the cost of having a guaranteed space on the advisor every single week. Like, is there a discount versus how much you're trying to do one-offs? Like, if we had a guaranteed space every week, and then we could decide what goes in that space from the township. But that's something we're still in preliminary looking into, to see if it's a possibility.
Well, at this point though, today is May 13th, our next meeting is June 2nd.
No,
That's
gonna
not even
happen.
gonna meet that timeline.
Unless they have space when you submit it to them tomorrow. But we still have to send all the letters and everything again too.
Right.
Notifications.
And that's the thing too, is once, I don't know about you all, but to get a letter out, that sometimes takes 5 days before it gets to its intended recipient as well. So allowing enough time for that too is something in that timeline to consider. So should we think about the July, I don't know if everybody's going to be here for July 7th. I know it's a holiday week. I know I will be absent. But is anybody?
Go ahead, Shelley.
what if we considered a special meeting in the middle of June? That way.
Yes, absolutely.
Our brothers could also attend that meeting because they are not available for this meeting or the following meeting. And she does want to come in.
What if we moved our June 2nd to a different date?
You could do that also. I mean, I'm just
Yeah,
trying to,
stalls, but
knowing
It'd
that,
be a special meeting either way.
Actually, I'm not missing the June 7th, the July 7th meeting. My apologies there. But anyways, sorry. So what is the preference? Commissioners, it's totally up to you, but again, think about the timelines. We can have special meetings, to your point, changing the date of our June meeting, having a special meeting. What is everybody's pleasure?
Personally, I just soon just change our June meeting, but I don't know what date works for everybody. We went to the 9th, the week after, would that work or not?
The 9th is JPC,
JPC.
possibly.
16th then?
I can do the 16th of June.
If we need that 2 weeks, we'd have to have that notice to the paper next week.
Which we have it completed.
Yeah.
It just have to change the date.
Would need to be- Yeah, so I can take that.
And the notice of the meeting change, right? We'd have to make sure that's out too, right?
They could get published.
So is it state law that it has to be published to, I mean,
15 days, the state laws adds,
But-
it has to be published 15 days prior to the hearing.
but we're getting to a point where published things are so antiquated that nobody reads them, nobody gets them.
That's the law, isn't it?
I understand it's the law, but
As long as one person sees it, it's legal.
Well,
And
it's
that's just
interesting.
the way it comes.
It's interesting, some of the, again, I'm off target here, but off topic, but some of the newspapers, what's keeping them alive is these
And, yeah.
these notices, public notices. So I think that's why they're, state law hasn't, I think, adjusted to say if it's, on your website, or is that being compliance with that?
That complies for being posted.
Correct.
So is it something that we would want to have the meeting scheduled prior to the township board meeting? Or in June? Or, because right now, if we're looking at the 16th, that's the day after the township board meeting for the month of June. I'm just throwing it out there
No, that's not a good point.
for consideration, so.
And it's because the 15th is the township board meeting, right? What about
June 10th?
June 10th? That's exactly where I was going. June 10th? So Wednesday.
We'll just be replicating what we've done this month as far as JPC and our own, so.
Commissioners? June 10th, Commissioner Summers, does that work for you?
yep.
Commissioner Woods, I assume it does.
I'm not sure it can get published that fast, though.
It comes out, they come out, they're published on, you said Saturday, is it? The paper comes out, I don't get the advice.
Supposed to get up in.
I get mine sometimes Fridays.
Friday.
I think they have to have everything in, last I heard, it was on Wednesdays, or Mondays. They print Wednesdays, deliver
It would
Thursday or
have to be
Friday.
in next week's advisor. Comes out the 20.
I can tomorrow, like, my wife's coming in to do all that, and we have on our list to talk to the newspaper, because there was another error in the newspaper, as we saw.
Yes, there was. Yes.
But yeah, we'll submit it tomorrow. We can submit that tomorrow.
It would have to go in next week for sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that would be
Can they
enough.
guarantee?
Yeah, well, I will ask them. They're not the fastest to respond to me, I will say, in terms of like, I give them something, and I will let you know as soon as I hear back, but it should be enough.
I
Is there a
think we're
contingency?
pushing it.
Is there a contingency? That's what I don't know. I mean, like, can we,
Can we get it into the shopper instead of the advisor? Do we have a requirement, Wayne, that it be published in a specific paper?
no, it's just
It just needs to be published
I think it needs to be published. Does it have some caveat there about
with where the
the location? Yeah, the local unit, or, I might be thinking about something else.
I think the contingency is, we go ahead and schedule it for the 10th. If it does not make the shopper, well,
I will.
now you guys got me going, the advisor next week, then we just post an ad saying, hey, we moved our PC meeting till the 16th. That
So-
would be the extra week.
Yeah, so you're saying, you could make I would just say, you make a motion that this is the date it's going to be. If it doesn't get into the shopper, then the contingency is a second date, so that way it's not The decision isn't being made outside of this meeting, you're doing it, the decision has been made in this meeting, contingent on it getting to the paper. You are safe in July, if you wanted to.
All right, they're not
Well, what about
pushing car
Carr
instruction.
and everybody else?
Well, I think the point is they're not available to come to June 2nd or July 7th. It's my understanding. So, I mean, we don't know that they'd be available the 10th or the 16th.
We maybe, I can contact her and see if she can rearrange her schedule in July. But this meeting and the June meeting, she is actually out of town doing training and there's just no way that she could attend.
I think personally what's more important to me is Mr. Paulus, who has been waiting for some time. I think that the application was dated back in January, if I'm not mistaken. So I would like to see us revolve around what's best and that we can still meet the timelines. So
Let's just go with the 16th of June.
is that a motion, Commissioner Woods?
I'll make a motion that our June meeting be rescheduled to the 16th of June at 7 p.m.
Is there a second?
Second?
Further discussion on this? And Shelley, you'll reach out to, in case, depending on, we need to add those to the agenda as well, meaning Carr Brothers for the gravel pit. Further discussion? So Commissioners, we have a motion by Commissioner Woods, seconded by Commissioner Riggs, to reschedule our June 2nd meeting to June 16th at 7:00 p.m. And Commissioner Woods, I believe the motion means that we'd have that public hearing as part of the June 16th meeting, correct?
Right.
So the June 16th meeting will include Mr. Kyle Paulus' zoning map amendment application. Okay?
That should allow us enough time with the advisor and any other paperwork.
Okay, thank you. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Right?
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you very much. Make note of that. All right. Well, under communication, it is my honor, I should say our honor, to welcome our new in-house zoning administrator, Shelley Briggs. So welcome, Shelley. This is your first official planning commission meeting as our zoning administrator. You all might be familiar with Shelley. She did previously work with South Central Michigan Construction Inspections or Code Inspectors, sorry, SCMCCI. Again, welcome. So glad to have you. As noted on the agenda, Shelley's hours are noted. And right now, we believe her email address is as provided. The website has also been updated. So she'll be working with us, and we have a mile-long list. Yes, Shelley.
As a reminder, the Township Hall is not open on Thursdays. I will be available by basically appointment only.
Appointment only. Very good.
And of course, available by phone.
Okay. Thank you for that. Any questions, comments related to that?
How's the first week or so been?
It's great.
Good answer. All right. Moving on to unfinished business. The first item on the agenda is Mr. David Brown's special land use suspension. There is a report included in the packet. I will share, and I think maybe I'll ask Shelley too to help me here, but noted on the agenda was the formal hearing scheduled for May 12th at 9 a.m. My understanding now is that's a new date of July 7th at 9:30 a.m. is what my notes indicate. Shelley, do you want to give us just a little quick update? I know there's been some.
Yeah, I did receive a email from the attorney stating that part of the fencing had been completed. I went out and went ahead and took some pictures, and Wayne's got them pulled up here. When I originally started doing this, there was absolutely no fencing on that side of the building at all. It took quite a bit of time just to get posts up and a little bit of a fence in the front. When it did start to get cold and after Mr. Brown had some problems, the project basically stopped. And I could no longer just continue to go and visit and beg that he get it fixed. We did end up issuing a citation. Mr. Brown has since then contracted with somebody. They have come in and the fence appears to go to his rear property line and then off to the left a little bit. I am not 100% sure yet that he has met all requirements of his special land use. I will be reviewing exactly what it said to see if this complies.
Yeah, and I do want to, there was public comment Connie had related to others on 15 Mile Road. I want you to know that we have contacted, I think, everybody on 15 Mile Road for consistency in application of our zoning ordinance. And that's just good business and fair to Mr. Brown as well. So I do want you to know that, and Shelley that's correct,
Correct.
that they have been contacted as well.
And some of the properties, there has been some improvements made. The Howard property no longer has all of the vehicles that were sitting out front. Those have been removed. The pallets at the stamping place, there are fewer than there used to be. I will stop in and address that with them. If they do need to put them out there, I'm going to suggest that they put up a privacy fence of some type so that nobody can see what they're storing. And then it would not be considered a violation. I was told that the auto collision place has done some repairs on their fence, but they have not got it all the way completed yet. I had addressed with Buds the issue of parking in the right-of-way and things like that. They are now doing much better about that. I will take a look at the fence because I am looking at all of the fences. And I'll also look at their front yard because I really don't like the fact that it just seems to be a mud pit, dirt. I would think that there is probably a requirement that says they have to put something down to, yes, and even possibly an actual parking lot. So that would be something that we will address also.
Well, it has to be because even when they just park vehicles, you can't see what's coming because they go right up to the road edge a lot of the time.
And that was addressed many, many months ago. And to my knowledge, they have not been parking within that right of way.
So I just wanted you to know that we have followed up on that piece.
Well, you know, I don't drive that road all that often, but when I do, I hate having some great big rig starting to back into me, and it's like, okay, fine, you've got the road.
Fair enough.
I agree.
Any questions, commissioners, about Mr. David Brown's land use suspension? It's been going on for some time, so. All right, thank you, Shelley, as well for the report. Moving on to our next item, Next Era, Serial City Solar and the tree planting update. Again, Shelley has a report in our packet. It appears to me we are still back and forth a little bit on how to handle the 300 trees that are missing from the site plan. And Shelley, I assume we're still waiting for a response, additional information.
Next Era has actually come back and suggested an alternative option, such as, what did she call it?
Pollinator fields? Is that-
Yeah. It's something we're going to have to look at. I mean, I don't even know, I'm not familiar enough with the area. I don't know if we'd have a place for something like that, if we have a need for it.
I'm not
So
sure
I
I even know
asked,
what it is.
I've got brochures that I will send off to all of the PC members so they can consider it.
What do you call it?
Pollinator fields, it's a field where it allows bees to come in and pollinate, bugs, things that you need. When you go and you tear out all of these properties and you start redeveloping, your bees, your bugs, the insects that you need to keep your land the way it should be kind of disappear. And this just gives them the opportunity to come back. They have a place to live and repopulate and hang out in your
Would
township.
this be considered meadows?
Meadows?
Yeah.
I think it's specific. And I do think there's, yeah, it's
Yes,
similar to that.
I think that's what, now that we're
Similar to that.
talking about it, I think that's probably, without it being right here in front of me, that's exactly probably what they're thinking about. You know, in order to bring back, you know, typical types of. Yeah, well, what I suggest is that once we have all the information, Shelley's put that all together, is that potentially maybe at our next meeting, if it's available, that we can make that determination as a planning commission, if we want to even consider that as an option and maybe have to go back to them again.
I've also asked for the cost that they would incur to provide us the trees and the delivery and planting as we had requested.
Right.
Versus what it is they're offering now, just to see if they're trying to get out of this in an easier manner than what we would prefer. I do understand that, you know, allowing 300 trees to come in and asking a landscaper or a nursery to go out and plant each individual one and deliver each individual one may be difficult, but I don't think it's impossible.
I don't think it's impossible.
I also offered to assist in organizing something like that, so we'll see what she has to say.
Other questions?
I think it's good that they finally got back in contact with you.
All right, moving on to the gravel pit and Carr Brothers. I don't know that we really have an update other than what has been provided, again, in Shelley's thorough report. And I think we're hoping that in a few weeks, or even potentially the 16th now, that they might be available to come. But you want to give a quick update of your May 7th?
Yeah, basically, we had gone out to the gravel pit just to do a site visit. According to the ordinance, we are supposed to go out every 6 months and just kind of do an inspection and make sure that things are going well. Check and see what they're doing as far as reclamation. When we went out there, there'd been no information provided really as to where they were at. We do have a surety bond from them in the amount of $10,000, which is what was required up front. But as you continue to mine these lands, if you exceed 5 acres, you are required for each additional acre that you have not reclaimed to put up an additional $2,000 bond. Naomi Carr is currently working on getting her bond increased from $10,000 to $14,000 because they are currently working on 7 acres. And it's allowed. They can do that. I mean, we don't have anything that says you absolutely can only do so many acres. This is just a financial assurance to the township that if they were to vacate the property, we would have the money to go back in and reclaim all of that back to its natural state.
But it doesn't cover the wear and tear on the roads.
No, it does not. This is strictly reclamation.
I'm seeing, and you probably see them, you're on H Drive, right? The increase in traffic, hauling traffic. Up down in coverage today, just from J Drive to Verona, 5 of those big trucks. And that's in just, what, 3 minutes, 4 minutes?
There's a lot of infrastructure going on around here. There's a lot of development going on.
Yeah.
So at these times, you probably are going to see increased traffic. At other times, you may not see it. Maybe to begin with, there wasn't as much going on. Maybe the traffic is picking up. If that's something the Planning Commission would like me to investigate, I would be happy to do so. I've already reached out to Naomi to find out what the truck routes are and things like that. So it's not something that we haven't started to address.
It changed. They were
What?
using Verona and catching 15 and then going on L Drive and J Drive. But because there was some holdup on Verona, they started using H Drive.
Connie, I'm going to ask that you hold those thoughts till the other public comment time. And I want to say why, right? Not that, you know, we don't mind going back and forth, but the audio isn't caught very well if you're not at the podium. So hold those thoughts, okay, for me? Thank you. All right. Any other questions or comments on Gravel Pit and Carr Brothers?
So this is all pertains to the new the new excavation to the north?
It is the new excavation under the name of Carr Brothers, yes. It's not the Parker site. What is that, the Quinn property? I'm not,
Aaron Quinn.
I'm not real good at names of
Quinn and Phil Otto,
residents and
yes.
stuff, so, yes, it is that parcel.
I think it was the phases that were most recently approved. Bear with me here. I want to say 22 maybe, in 22, November,
So-
21, sorry.
But I guess is Parker's, I guess I should go with you on an inspection. So you said there's no reclamation started on Parker property?
I have not inspected Parker property at all. I've not been asked to. I am only working on Carr Brothers, the Quinn
Yeah,
property.
I understand that because where they're working now really won't be activating reclamation until they stop.
They have reclaimed some of what they have already tore up.
Yeah.
But we'll have an update, I think, coming to this board for those reasons, and I think we'll be able to ask all those questions of Naomi as well. Yeah, no, it's good. Yeah.
Because I guess what made me a little discouraged is because I've been on that property and it started out with Reith Riley. So Reith Riley owns the most of it, and the way I understand it, reclamation of Reith Riley's never happened, and it never will happen. And, now you've moved on from Parker's, and what do we have? I guess that's where my thought with the whole money being set aside to reclaim it, and investigation came to, everybody just kind of forgot about the first ones.
Well, I
And
think,
I don't think I think that with you in place and what we're doing now, we won't see that problem on what Carr are doing now. But it's just so sad to see the other ones that
Yeah,
I
and
think the
like I
world
said,
ignored.
I have spent absolutely no time on either of those properties.
Okay.
Right now, it has just been finding out what's going on with the gravel pit and the Carr Brothers area and trying to get that back up to where it should be.
Well-
And we will be going out and doing inspections twice a year. And Naomi has agreed to give me a report every 6 months also
Right.
as to the progress.
Well, I guess my statement is I think we're making great progress over where our whole world has been.
And if it is necessary, I don't have a problem looking back into the requirements of those other two sites. But I don't know, are we even working on those sites anymore?
I don't
We
know.
don't have
know
enough
the answer to
information.
that. Yep.
Yeah, I would say probably not.
Put it on the list.
Yep.
Joanna. Okay, all right. Thank you very much. And I want to echo, well, I was going to do it at the end, but I'll do it now, what Commissioner Summers mentioned as well, which is, it's a fresh set of eyes. We are not looking, again, this is a business in our community as well, just like David Brown and others are, but we also have to be good neighbors and ensure that we're in compliance with our zoning ordinance. So I appreciate, them working with us and ensuring that we're in compliance, and Shelley's work as well, so. Okay. The next item is a placeholder on this, and actually it goes to Connie on public comment as well. The Township Board did approve a moratorium on both data centers as well as battery energy storage systems. So we do have a moratorium on that. They approved it on January 20th of 2026, like other communities have done. It does right now, it's set to expire, it's it's so small, I need my glasses, but the temporary moratorium is for 6 months. So at our next meeting, we are potentially going to need to ask the Township Board for an extension related to this because we are in the midst of our master plan. We have been going through training. Many of us have attended a variety of different training on this, but we need a little bit more time as it relates to what, if any, ordinance we want to do. Questions or comments on that, or? Okay. Okay. All right. And now, moving on to our master plan amendment update. Commissioners, I took into account all of the meetings that we had and tried to put together an semblance of those comments in our master plan. Again, this is our master plan, not Joanna's master plan. I'm just compiling it all. So the draft that you have before you has items in yellow that are either we're waiting on items. For instance, we are still waiting and working with Brent from Calhoun County GIS on all of the maps that we have requested. So you will see areas that are highlighted, and it's simply because we don't have the maps in order to, incorporate or review. So I thought this evening, we wanted to at least spend time on the text part that's in yellow, but how would the board like to, or the planning commission proceed? Do we want to go through each one of the highlighted areas? What is the best way to have our review?
Page by page.
We can do that. All right. Page by page, just the highlighted areas or all of them? Or are there particular?
I think the highlighter would be good.
Commissioner Summers, Commissioner Woods, highlighted areas, every page.
Highlighted.
Commissioner Summers, what did you say? I'm sorry.
Highlighted ones would be fine with me.
Okay, and then if there are areas that are not highlighted and you want to go to, because you have particular comments or questions, we can certainly do that as well. Let's start with the highlighted then. It sounds like a bit of consensus. So the first highlighted area is on page 5. And this is something that I did indeed put in here. The current vision of the township, as noted in our existing master plan, says the township will maintain its rural character for years to come while managing the pace of growth, ensuring the preservation of existing neighborhoods and the natural environment, and promoting development in agreed upon target areas that will be served by public infrastructure and utilities. I thought maybe rewording it a little bit, and the thought process that I had was that the township will preserve its rural character for generations by thoughtfully managing growth, protecting agriculture, existing neighborhoods, natural resources, and directing new development exclusively to the designated public utilities corridor. Do we want to change it? Do we want to keep it? Is there a different rendition? Thoughts?
Well, my first comment on that particular paragraph, your new one, was it doesn't flow well.
Okay.
And the only thing was, you start out by thoughtfully managing growth and then protecting agriculture. And then you go right into existing neighborhoods. There's not an adjective or a verb prior to that.
Okay.
So I don't know if moving, protecting agriculture somewhere or adding a verb in front of existing neighborhoods or moving stuff around. To me, it just didn't seem to flow properly.
Do you think that we should update the vision though, and then if you would help maybe with an idea on a vision, would you be willing to fix that?
I don't have a problem with what was said.
Oh, okay,
Just
okay.
how it's
All right.
put on paper.
So the township will preserve its rural character for generations by thoughtfully managing growth. And then
Then he goes, protecting agriculture. But what about what are we doing with existing neighborhoods? You go from, we're managing growth, thoughtfully managing growth, then we're protecting agriculture.
I think it means more protecting agriculture, existing neighborhoods, and natural resources.
That's what I wondered. It says trying to all three of them.
Yes, that's,
Why wouldn't you just put protecting existing agriculture neighborhoods and natural resources? Put the existing in front of agriculture, because agricultural, the neighborhoods and natural resources are already there. That
So what
reads
was
better
your
to me.
thought process? Was it for the existing neighborhoods? Was it managing existing neighborhoods or protecting existing neighborhoods, or what was?
I was just trying to take the vision that was there and think about the survey and everything that we've done within our plan, right? And what we kept hearing over and over again was trying to preserve agriculture, right? I mean, that's a theme throughout all of this. And the existing neighborhoods, and really looking at growth areas, which we now call in the draft, the public utilities corridor, because there's infrastructure there. So that was my thought process, but to the point of so I wanted to do it all, right? I wanted to preserve rural character. I wanted to thoughtfully manage growth, protect agriculture, protect our existing neighborhoods, natural resources, and then move that new development into designated public utilities corridor.
I have a question, Joanna. Is exclusively possible? Directing new development exclusively to?
I meant exclusively.
Okay. I don't know what the public utilities corridor is.
Yep, that's in here. So where should I put a verb, or what should I do? Or what should we do, not I, we? I think, I'm going back, I did this some time ago, right? We put this together some time ago, so I think what I was trying to say is thoughtfully managing growth, thoughtfully protecting agriculture, thoughtfully protecting existing neighborhoods, natural resources, and then flipping the directing new development to the utilities corridor, public utilities corridor.
How about thoughtfully managing growth, semicolon, protecting agriculture, existing neighborhoods, and natural resources, semicolon, and directing new development exclusively to the designated public utilities corridor.
Sounds good to me.
It's just more of an English
Yeah.
flow. The idea is great, but it's just.
Okay. All right, got through that one. Thank you very much. Now I'm moving on to, I think this is where I have an error. So Ceresco, we wanted to add something about Ceresco. So I've put this section in here. I do want to mention Commissioner Buller did review the packet, and he did send me a note on this. And I wrote it incorrectly. At least he says, I see when describing where the township's portion of Ceresco is located, it indicates east of the Kalamazoo River. Is this where I have it? East of the Kalamazoo River. That's not quite correct, he says. A more correct wording would be north and south of the Kalamazoo River and east of 12 Mile Road. And in parentheses, he says the boundary line with Emmett Township.
Yep.
Does that sound correct for me to make that correction in that paragraph? And then,
Yes.
okay. Is there any other changes to that section? No?
Nope, I think it's good.
All right, moving along. All right, so I did some review. It's my understanding we should have The cemetery noted in our master plan, if even just for historical purposes. So I did some research, and frankly, in this case, I did have AI help. So if it's incorrect, please let me know. I did review it, went out to the cemetery, checked findagrave.com. And Commissioner Summers, you have family in Hotchkiss Cemetery, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So I put this in here, and I would appreciate your feedback for those of you who've lived here a lot longer than I have, whether it's accurate. And Connie, I'll get with you after the meeting, and maybe you can tell me again what that headstone or the tombstone or whatever that you were referring to, because maybe we can try to find it. I will make a mention that there is markers out there dating back to 1812, which is really interesting. Also, I'll mention that, which is sidebar to the master plan, is Commissioner Sly and I attended a webinar today on township cemeteries, which was very interesting. So who knew? Anybody find any errors in this piece?
I don't have that page in my copy.
You don't? It's in the packet. Did you get a packet this evening?
I printed this off the email you sent a while back,
Oh, okay, not the latest one, yeah.
and not the packet itself, so shame on me for not thinking you changed something.
Yeah, well, no, it's been out, yeah, it's in the
I
packet.
think it's very,
Well, I know it's in the packet, but I had this printed
Oh,
before
from
the
a
packet
print.
came out, yeah, so.
I think it's adequate for what we need to have in our master plan.
Okay,
And I'm content with what's there. I know Glenn mindful that we need to do some improvements and do some stuff, but that's totally a
okay.
Board thing there.
whole story.
On pages 10 and 11, this is Templar boilerplate language from the training that we had related to the master plan. So all I did was plug that in here for the plan principles. I don't think there's anything controversy about this, so we just put this in here as part of the requirements of the master plan to meet the intent of the act. That's Are we good? All right. Page 13 has highlighted areas related to the property tax classification map. And the reason that is we're waiting for the map in order to make that percentage correction, assuming a correction there. So that's the only reason that's highlighted. Moving on to page 15. We had talked about the various opportunities that are available to farmers related to preserving agricultural parcels. So this just talks about those. In talking with the county, as of March of 2026, there are currently 22 parcels that are enrolled in Public Act 116 for farmland preservation. And then the other thing was mentioned was the Conservation Reserve Program by the USDA. So that's added in here. I don't have any acreage for that at all, unless somebody knows where to get it. I'm going to keep going and you guys stop if you need to, okay? Page 16. We added the information, we don't have the map yet on our roads. Again, that's another county review. We added information about the Marshall Soccer Club that is in our township. And the North Country Trail does go through Calhoun County. So we added information on the North Country Trail for recreational trails. I suppose maybe we need to add the one along Michigan Avenue that has been built just now by Michigan Department of Transportation, and now it's part of the city though, so maybe we don't need to. But- Okay,
Is that on G Drive and 16 considered, at one time, that was a park? So to be, right on that curve there. I know Marshall Township mows it and all that, but
where
That was-
I have that marker in here somewhere, right? We have a picture
I
of
didn't
it.
know if that was mentioned or if it needs to be mentioned.
I have a picture, we have a picture of it somewhere, I swear we do, but I don't know, is that, I'd have to look at that on the GIS as to
know-
ownership.
Back, I'm talking years ago, they used to talk about the cemetery, the park, and the township hall. And that was considered a park. Whether, there's no picnic table, there's nothing there, it's just that curve, but I know it belongs to Marshall Township,
Where the turnaround is, right in front of there, right with the
right
marker.
on that curve.
Yeah,
That's what it was called. Yeah, you can park there. I never did, but.
I'm not sure
know what I mean.
I'm not sure that it would
exactly what you
belong.
mean.
Excuse me, according to the GIS, it's owned by Sackright Real Estate.
It is now?
What the
Huh.
GIS says.
I guess, Wayne can find out if we're paying to mow that, because at one time I know we did mow it. You know or not?
I don't know off the top of my head, and I can look into it. I'll find out what we're.
I will do some research. I pass it all the time, right? So, okay. Moving along. Page 18, we added information on the Northwood Swim Club. I do have an error there. It is not pickleball courts. Last I knew it was a tennis court, so that needs to be corrected. Oh, thanks. I didn't even notice. I am so sorry, Wayne. I didn't even notice you had it up there. So. Very good, yes. Moving on to page 20. We added information on Millbrook for housing in the housing chapter. Again, following the Michigan Planning Enabling Act and the principles that we needed to have in here related to housing. So that's added in here. Then there's the whole housing inventory section that we have to have in here. There's something highlighted there. We reviewed that. Page 23 references the future land use map. We are still waiting on that. We did review the suggested changes there, but we still have to review the map. Again, it's in progress. On page 26, there was information from the survey related to, what was this section? This is on economic development. So there was a section in the survey that talked about general law or charter township. So that information is in here just in terms of the difference between the two as it relates to economic development with the city and 425 agreements. Page 27. I think, based on at the time, there are parcels within the Blue Over Battery Park major campus that remain in the township, so that's noted there. Maybe that could be worded differently, though. There are parcels within the major campus area that remain in the township. At least as of this writing. Okay.
Yeah, we just probably preface that.
Yeah,
There are.
there are, right, it didn't make any sense otherwise, yeah. Page 29 is public services and infrastructure. For roads, I provided information from the last, what is it, the 2024, which is the most recent Calhoun County Road Department Annual Report, and it's got our road conditions. County GIS is also looking for that, for the map to show the good, fair, poor, so we haven't gotten that yet. And I'm hoping Commissioner Riggs might fact check the opportunity that we have here for fire and rescue. We did not really have a lot of information on this in our last master plan. And obviously we have a new fire station as well. This was taken, I think, either from our website or some description related to the new station. So I don't know if it's correct or not, if it is, but maybe somebody can fact check it for me. I put pictures of the two township halls or fire department in here, and I also added something on Marshall Area Firefighters Ambulance Authority.
All right.
Anything on that Commissioner Riggs, maybe you can double check me with that later
I
or just
will.
review. Broadband, that's something for communication that we had at one time. That's been updated with the last broadband service location information map. And then page 35 is chapter or a page on aggregate mineral extraction. And this is a large operation in our township. I mean, prior to some of the other, at least now there's 425 agreements, which is some of the development obviously is at the city, but for Marshall Township, the gravel pit operations is a big operation for us. So there's information on this, and this was captured from the 2021 township packet that approved the special land use permit for the 25 acres of the Quinn property or parcel.
My only question on that, should we add a statement about the reclamation process that's going on
We can.
within there?
Any specific, like what
Just,
what about it?
just
Or,
the process, what they're doing. You know, they're taking out and they're putting back in.
okay, I can,
Just what they're doing.
I'll go back to that 2021 packet. I think there was some information on there about that, if I'm not mistaken. But, yeah, I can look.
It just shows that what they're doing.
Yep.
That's the reclamation part of it. So.
Maybe just a statement that says we're overseeing that they abide by the state laws or something like that,
Okay.
because it's all controlled by the state.
And they're, well, are following our ordinance too, right?
Yes.
Okay. One thing I want to point out, just based on public comment, if you read the last paragraph, or excuse me, the last sentence in that paragraph, again, this was captured from the 2021 packet of information that came before the township. It says hauling and transport trucks associated with material processing will utilize an existing haul route, and there have been no indication at the time that truck traffic generated by Carr Brothers and Sons operations would result in very serious consequences for the surrounding properties or roadways. And I don't know if we want to keep that in there or not. And again, I don't think there's one validation or not a validation, but I don't know that we can say that there haven't been any serious consequences, or do we leave it? Or does it
Or
not
do we
matter?
have an identified existing hole?
Well, that's That's what we're
And even
trying
though the
to.
roads are bad, you can't say it's, roads bad, you know, that- I agree with that,
There's no, it's hard to validate that.
right?
Just leave it?
Leave it.
Okay. But yes, on the haul route, right? Page 37, again, it's another missing map, the property tax classification map. We're waiting on that. And section 38, I just wanted to make sure, again, we went through this as a planning commission. So that's what we had talked about related to sections 11, 12, 13, 14, and 14 and 23. I just want to make sure, I think I got the road names correct on that, I think, and the Country Hills and Kesselwood. I think I got that correct.
We can drop back to the previous page.
Yeah.
The picture in and of itself, I know where it's at. But the paragraph up right in front of it mentions 15 Mile Road. And this one really isn't showing a whole lot, other than a lot of power lines and the lights.
Do you want a different picture, is that?
I don't know if
On the
it
other
would
side of
be,
the road?
if it would be better to show businesses off of 15 Mile Road, picture of them instead of this. I don't know. Just-
Well, I have those. I actually have pictures of Commissioner Summers kind of area too, to try to.
Yeah, I saw
It
that
was
one,
hard,
yeah.
it's hard to capture that, but I can try.
I don't know, what the heck was your thought process here?
No, I just was trying to put a picture in. I was
Yeah,
filling
okay.
filling space, so we
that
can do
picture.
whatever.
Okay.
That picture's,
Do you want a different picture? Or are you saying that the picture just kind of looks like it doesn't look like much, or that it's not corresponding to the paragraph above it?
Yeah, I don't know what story the picture's saying, but it doesn't seem to sync up with what the words.
Well, the
be
header
better
says
to-
existing land use, and there's no use of that land.
well, it'd be better to just have a map like on the wall there, rather than this.
Okay, we can just throw a picture of the zoning districts.
Yeah, like the zoning map that shows the different stuff, because you talk about different classifications and stuff.
Okay,
Ag, residential.
we can do that.
That makes sense?
Okay. What we had talked about at our last review was to, in the definitions of each one of our zoning districts, is to actually pull it from our ordinance, and that's all this is a copy paste. Describing each of those zoning areas all the way through to 42. We went through the zoning plan, there's nothing yellow there, this is stuff we've reviewed. Then on page 44, we wordsmithed and reviewed what we wanted to have done with review and consider the AB zoning district to be incorporated into the AD district, either permitted or special use, and review and consider the CS zoning district to be incorporated into the commercial or industrial districts, either permitted or special use. That's what we had talked about, so that's noted. Probably the heart of this as well is, as we wordsmithed and went through each one of the sections, we put in there our actions or goals. And so the chart that was in there previously had to be updated with each one of those sections, so that's what this is. What has to be discussed here is, and it shouldn't be me, all I did was put the words in here under the action items, is what's the priority, what's the time frame, and who are the responsible parties? So we need to go through those and ensure or get an idea of what the Planning Commission would like to do. So, number one, it says assess and implement zoning options to protect surface water features, groundwater, wetland, undisturbed buffers, and wellhead protection strategies as appropriate. The type is zoning change or ordinance. It, again, this wasn't me putting it in here. Should it be a high priority, Is it short-term, 1 to 2 years? And who is the responsible party?
So we're going to just go one by one then.
Unless there's ones that you know you want to change. The concern, just to give you my sense, again, all I did was just change the verbiage under the implementation table action, is if you have a lot of high priorities, a lot of these, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, because anything could be high priority.
No.
But which ones really are high priority? And who do we want to have responsible? Because moving forward, this is a working document for us, right? We don't just put it on a shelf. These are areas that we need to be working on. So, Commissioner, we can either go through it one by one, or if there's ones that you know you don't think should be, that need to be adjusted in terms of priority, time frame, or responsible party, we can do it that way too.
Well, what's your thought on the timelines for the priorities? What for high, medium, and low?
Well, this is what was in our current plan, that's in our current plan right now. Priority, it says high, medium, low. I don't know what that, it's got the timing for
Right.
the definition. We said short term was 1 to 2. This is what's in our current one.
Right. Well, I think 1 and 2 look good as is, because that just feeds right into what the people want through the survey, what we're trying to accomplish as a planning commission for the township. Those are the high ideal areas that everybody's truly interested in protecting.
For item 3, which was, if you go back to the chapters, it says share Public Act 116 information. I'm wondering if the time frame should be long-term on that and not short-term. It's just continuous.
Continuous, yeah.
Everybody good with that? Okay, now the housing and neighborhoods. I don't personally have any issue with the timelines that are here for
They're all
that.
pretty good, really.
Commissioner Riggs, you good with those? Yeah.
Just number 7 under that one, monitor housing trends. What does that entail?
Yes, the state of Michigan. That is in part of our duties under the act, and is part of, I think it's just monitoring, what do we have on
What's
here?
happening where?
And we've got those are actions to monitor housing trends. I suppose that could be whether or not we have enough housing availability. What about rental capacity? The state and the census usually come out as well with trends that are there across the state. But if you want to specify it more so, we've got,
Is that construction or
Here it is, on page 22, under our housing strategies and policies, again, reading whatever law or the Public Act. It says, monitor housing trends, update housing data within the plan reviews, review affordability, vacancy, and tenure changes. That's what it means by monitoring housing trends.
Okay.
Should we?
We've been connected dots.
No, it's okay, it's all right. I can put that in. How about I add that, though? Like, why don't I add what that is here? That way,
More than information.
yeah. And I'll add it to whatever page that was, 22 maybe or something, I don't know. Okay. Everybody good? Okay. Page 46, and economic development. There are two high priorities, at least in that section. Again, I didn't do anything with any of that, so I just changed the action, so.
So number 10, what is the action? 10.
So it's under economic development, chapter 4. Let's see if we specified. What we had under there is actions, it's exactly what it has there. PA 425 properties are considered, oops, nope, actually, did I not fully? Looks like I missed part of that. It says, PA 425 properties are considered within the township properly zoned commercial or industrial areas. So I missed a phrase as part of that, so that needs to be fixed from page 28. Okay.
Would that be also a long-term
Long-term,
time frame?
it can be, sure.
That's going to be ongoing.
Do we want it? I think that's okay, like the 6+ years. I mean, we have to review this plan at minimum every 5 years anyway, so,
Yeah. Okay.
yep, long-term, got it. Okay, everybody, any changes there? Okay, moving on to chapter 5, which is public services and infrastructure. I will double, triple check all of these too. Make sure we didn't, so I'm on those action items on page. For chapter 5, review of zoning ordinance for any adjustments for private roads, explore battery storage ordinance. Is that what's in there? Yeah, okay. I know we've pretty much got best covered. We don't have anything related to the data centers or anything. I don't know that we need to add anything here on action items for that. Just leave it. It's, both of these are high and short term.
Well, we had just lost my thought. Yeah. We have the 6-month moratorium for both. So we're looking at both. So should we not identify both somewhere? If we're doing this data center too. I know we haven't completed any actions as far as, and maybe we'll end up not doing anything.
So if we go back to, yes, we can. If we go back to chapter 5 under public services and infrastructure, does it belong there though, the data centers? I'm just trying, if we don't, if
I see what you're saying.
we have to put something in the body of the master plan. I'm not sure if it belongs there or under economic development.
Is it a public service? Heaven forbid.
I don't know. The point is, yes, we can add it. The question is, what explanation do we want in the body of the master plan to speak to data centers? And then what chapter or what would be an attributable action item? Let me ask this, should we have something in here in the master plan related to data centers? Start there.
If you have a moratorium, shouldn't you have something somewhere mentioning it? Considering you've already
That was my
made a resolution?
thought process, you know, it's been acknowledged.
Yeah.
But Joanna's point is, where do we put it?
Well, that and,
Investigate that and see.
that and by the time we get done with the moratorium, we'll be done with the master plan.
But everybody's aware of your moratorium. I mean, I realize that's going to go away and you'll probably have something. That was just where my thought was going also.
At the time of this discussion, we have one. So yes, we can add it, just where do you want it?
I would have to do investigation to see, I would seriously look and see where other townships are categorizing it. I would have to do some thorough checking into
Just
it.
as a placeholder, add it in with the best at this point, and asterisk it and say more information.
So let's see, where did we have that, you guys? How many pages? So maybe we can add it on page 34. Both data centers and the moratorium. And if we do so, if you go to page 36, which has the action items, should we then, for the action item number 2, should we just put in there the verbiage that's in the moratorium that we're going to review for the data center and BESS, right? And then I'll change that also under number 12 on page 46.
Sounds good. Well, we got them all linked up somewhere or another.
Yeah, okay. Do we think that's still high in short term? Yes?
Sure.
So,
Well, short term for sure, due to the moratorium we have in place right now. Even if we get an extension, we're still within that short term timeframe.
Okay. Commissioner Summers, I'm sorry, what were you saying?
So you're adding, under chapter 5, you're adding data centers
Correct.
as number 3?
I mean, at least right now, that's where we're going to put it. Now, it may adjust depending on what Shelley finds with
Right.
other master plans.
That we're acknowledging that it's there.
Yep,
Yep.
okay. Are we on chapter 6? Yes, right? Anything else on chapter 5, action items? Okay, we are now on chapter 6 for land use. I would like to share that number 15 and number 16, and I look to our zoning administrator as well, I think are very important because we have some of this stuff coming before us as we speak and not sure what to do with it. Is that,
Yes, that's exactly it.
so I would suggest we leave those two as high
Absolutely.
and short term. So that's number 15 and 16.
And I think updating the zoning map is always going to be an ongoing task, no matter what.
Yep.
So I think that's always going to be long-term.
I think,
Whether it's a high priority,
But a lot of these items are
It ought to be
long-term, they're
considering
not
where we
short-term.
used to be.
I will defer to our new zoning administrator. I wouldn't take it below medium, but, if
we just definitely need to keep an eye on it and not have it be one of those, well, I'll get to it when I can get to it. It needs to be a little more, I think, up and maintained. Yes, maintained consistently.
I think part of that, though, was it says new zoning district titles and designations. And I think part of that is pending, I got to relook at what we said, hang on. I think it's because we had some of this AB and
ABAG.
and CS. I think that's what was partial to that too. I think this is still in our current master plan. I think this is in there right now. I don't have it right here in front of me, but
No, he's caveated.
yeah,
Things in a state of flux.
yeah. I mean, it's, again, okay.
Yes, so.
So we're good there then so far? Yeah? Okey dokey. We are moving on. That's it? Wow. Okay. So, anything else that folks found in the review process? Any typographical, anything that's missing, anything else?
Just the English side of the house.
Oh, please feel free. Please feel free to,
I don't want to waste, I'd rather do it just on 1-on-1, if that's okay.
yeah.
The English side, no content changes or anything like that, but I don't want to waste our time and the audience's time going through all my little marks.
Okay.
So it's just for readability and consistency.
Okay.
It's all that is.
Well, why don't we make sure that I'll have my computer in here and we can just go through each page and do that. At this point, anything else though, besides the typographical and maybe clarifications, any substantial changes in substance or anything? Okay. Well, this is, okay, so Commissioner Woods and I will get together just to go through some of that. In moving on to the timeline update, this has been updated. We are behind schedule, but this is okay because we want to spend the amount of time that's necessary in the master plan amendment. So the timeline that's included in your packet, everything in red is things that we have done. And it's just good to keep for the public and everybody to know what we've been doing. I'm going to add today because we have reviewed on page 2 on whatever today's date is, May 13th, it's already there, pardon me, that we've reviewed. This is the 4th review of pages of the master plan. You can see we're still waiting on the maps on the bottom of page 2 from the county, which I have been reassured we will have them for our next meeting in June. So we will anticipate with Commissioner Woods's adjustments and typographical and the things we've talked about this evening, that we'll have a final draft for June, for our June meeting, which is now June 16th. That's the goal. Doesn't mean at that meeting that we can potentially have changes still, et cetera. But then we need to move on with the process. I've got to check if a resolution is needed from us here to then send to the township board for the approval of the draft master plan for distribution. So it will be on our agenda, obviously, in June as well, again. And then there's always opportunity, whether it be here or through the public hearing process, that additional adjustments can be made to the plan. So if everything works out perfectly, again, never let your sense of urgency overcome your sense of quality. We may potentially have an amended master plan in October. That's basically in a nutshell. And pending if we can get it in the newspaper and the posting in the newspaper, we can maybe meet those timelines. I don't know, because of course, all of this is subject to public hearings. So, are there any questions, concerns, or comments related to the timelines?
Getting there.
No? Okay. All right. Moving on to anything else? Master plan last time? Nope. Okay. JPC, Joint Planning Commission. We did not have a March meeting, an April meeting. We did meet last evening. And as we talked about earlier, under the agenda item H, the city had their vice chair resign, so they had to, their alternate Carter went into the vice chair role, then he resigned and they revisited it. So we have a new city vice chair, Ian Stewart, and the alternate is Carter Bright again. I thought last night was a good meeting. It was about an hour long, and mostly we were reviewing the bylaws, the 425 agreement, projects that have already been approved, projects that may be forthcoming, which includes solar and potentially the Schaefer development on Old 27. What am I missing? Commissioners Woods and Riggs. Anything else for that meeting?
Nothing more.
I was glad Jim Durian.
Oh, thank you for saying that,
That was
yes.
I got a lot out of that too.
Yeah, Mr. Jim Durian of MEDA did a short presentation last evening. I know the city puts this meeting out on their website. We will put it on ours as well, so you can view it. But he gave an update and answered questions for us. So good point. I forgot that, Commissioner Riggs.
We'll be at next week's township
Mr.
with that same presentation.
It's our understanding Mr. Durian will be at the township board meeting. Is it the 18th? 18th, and do a presentation similar as well. What I did hear commissioners verify is that he will be communicating regularly to the Joint Planning Commission. He does have some homework to come back to us on, and maybe he'll also share the sewer and water at the township board meeting. So, okay. Anything else with Joint Planning Commission? All right, hearing and seeing none, we have reached the second point of our meeting for public comments. This is not reserved for just agenda items. So if you'd like, please come to the podium and provide public comment. Okay. Oh, sorry, Dwayne, we'll get Mr. Lindsay back up.
Okay. Good evening again, Richard Lindsay here on behalf of the Marshall Area Economic Development Alliance. Just a couple of points about the plan. In the reference to the major campus, you have it not capitalized, and it's an acronym. It's Marshall Area Jobs, Opportunity, and Recreation Campus. So it's capital MAJOR.
Whoa, one more time. Hang on, because I thought we spelled out that acronym. Did we not?
Got it spelled out, but you don't have it capitalized. Well, you don't have the whole thing spelled out that I saw, so it should be capital M, capital A, capital J.
Not just the first letter. Is that what you're saying?
Correct. Yep. And I didn't see that it was spelled out in there somewhere, but it may have been. I didn't read it.
On page 27, I've got it.
You got the whole thing? Okay. And so I'm trying to track through on the descriptions of the plan, what's going to be changed in the future. And so I understand, I understand the public utilities corridor is intended to run over to the water tank. It's referenced as a tower, but I think you mean the tank. And so my question I would have is, anything going to be changed at this point on what's zoned now or master plan now as industrial? So basically all the way over to 12. And the reason I ask is because the utilities do run all the way along 12, all the way to the casino, right? So the utilities don't stop here. They go all the way over. So again, would request that stay as it's currently classified in the master plan. And so that's related to the master plan. And so the other thing I'd like to talk to you about is the mess that exists at 12 Mile and M96. So MEDA purchased some of those properties. Basically, there was a property that Dillon DeCare, it's a little bit further, right? A little bit over to the east or to the west, right on the corner. Keep going, keep going, keep going, right there. So it's where Doors Unlimited was at. Doors Unlimited MEDA bought the Doors Unlimited property. Doors Unlimited then moved into where Dillon DeCare bought that from him. And so there's a confusing mess of properties there that we purchased rapidly in order to put the water line in a couple of years ago, right? And so what we've got now is permission from the MEDC, and thank you, Wayne, and the Township Board for supporting that move for the furniture store. We've got permission to sell that for a very fair price to the furniture store to move them into where Doors Unlimited was at. And so to do this, these parcels are grandfathered as a mess. They don't really aren't, and thank you for the zoning administrator, I think maybe on her second day, met me out there and Dwayne met me out there, so I appreciate that. And so I sent some information today. I would like to sit down with whoever wants to be part of that, and do you want to include you as part of that too, and figure out how best to do this. And so the wild card right now is we don't know exactly where MDOT's going to put their right away, right? So it's the same issue out here. And so they're telling us it's coming soon, it's coming soon, it's coming soon. Well, you know, I will, and when they do it, then it'll all of a sudden move into construction almost instantly. And so what after cajoling them for a while, because they were unwilling to meet with the township over this, they're willing to meet now. And so they'd like to meet with here or privately or however we do it, right? But obviously we know there's a.
Are you talking they, meaning the Michigan Department of Transportation?
I mean, the Michigan Department of Transportation. So they are willing to meet with us and talk up through this because we have emphasized the importance of working with these two businesses, these two Marshall Township businesses, and preserving where we would like to have them at. And so sent some information to the zoning administrator. We'd like to have that discussion. And so something that Mr. Sly brought up, and I would like to talk to as part of that as well, is we have taken a whole bunch of former township parcels, and most of them the city just slapped 53 on the front of it, right? And so I think the township probably, and you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, I think the township is probably having trouble tracking through what was transferred, what the taxes are, and what that all looks like to track the revenue. And as we go forward, like Opportunity Drive is now a new parcel that's was never in the township before. And so now we're going to recombine all these again into different parcels and then split different pieces out. And so I would like to have conversations with zoning administrator, the assessor. I don't know exactly who needs to be there, but we've had repeated meetings with the city staff to get it straightened out in the city. And I would say it's still about 80% straightened out. There's still ongoing issues about taxable value and how it gets split up. And there's been a lot of changes made. And so again, saying to the township planning commission, township staff, we look forward to having a meeting and talking about that, figuring out what it is that you need, and we can work with you. And then again, like on these maps, we have a lot of information that we've generated as far as like the 425 maps. And I'm looking at it right now, there's some mistakes on that map as far as what's transferred into 425. There's some stuff that's missed. So I'm gonna train, I don't know if I can approach it, just gonna. Oh, sure. These are the maps I'm talking about. And I will email these to you guys so you can read them better when they're in the.
Oh, we've already received these, yeah. Is this the one that Aaron put together?
This is one Aaron put together, yeah. So if you've seen it already, just toss it.
It's okay, no, I can.
And I'll send it by email as well. But I look forward to having further conversation on this.
There's 2 copies.
Meta owns the sewer and water pipes, the city is billing, right? You need to talk to the city about the billing, but Jim can confirm that on Monday as well.
Can you repeat that? What did you just say?
So you said you were waiting to hear on Monday what the answer to the question was about the water and sewer.
Yeah, okay.
Water and sewer pipes are owned by Meta, constructed by Meta with grant funds. And the city is operating them, and they are billing Blue Owl. So as far as.
So is there water flowing? Is
100%, yeah. You can turn the water on in the fire station, Mr. Riggs. Water turns on in the fire station. Yeah, the water's flowing. Yeah, it's flowing and the whole loop's open, so. Same with sewer. All right, if you have any questions, we'll just let it answer. Thank you.
You can stick around. I'll have a question during commissioner comments. I'm sorry. Commissioner Slide.
Couple observations. Dwayne Sly, Marshall Township. Listening to you were going through the verbiage. Just a suggestion on page 5, when you were talking about the Marshall Township will preserve its rural character for generations by thoughtfully managing growth. I would just encourage or suggest you put while protecting agriculture, existing neighborhoods, et cetera. Maybe that would do it. And then also just a suggestion, on page 36, under chapter 5 actions, number 2, explore a battery storage ordinance, I would suggest you put develop, not explore, because we need one.
Well, not necessarily, because if we don't have it, it's not permitted, right? And then they can go to the state.
Correct.
So.
But if we have one, they can still go to the state.
That's correct, true. Okay.
And it does give us something to work with them on. I mean, that's just my opinion.
Okay.
I forgot what the second thing I was going to talk about. Oh, I was going to address Mr. Summers, or Commissioner Summers' comments about the Reith Riley pit. I can address that because after the previous zoning administrator left, there was a whole stack of files that needed to be gone through. So Commissioner Johnson and I went through those. And I came across the Reith Riley file, and I was just exploring it. And there was a letter in there from a previous zoning administrator before Mr. Anderson. And they had developed this ordinance for the bond for the reclamation. And this zoning administrator sent a letter to Reith Riley saying, you need to give us this bond for reclamation. And there was a letter from their lawyer in there that said, no, because we were here before you developed it, before you developed that ordinance for reclamation. So I doubt Reith Riley will ever be reclaimed because at that time, there was no ordinance mandating a reclamation. And then I'm going to make another comment, and I will do it again when the Carr brothers are here. Their application for the special land use permit is technically correct, but it's misleading. It says on there, no processing will take place on site. That's technically correct. And it's talked about, no processing will take place on site, so the dust and the traffic will not be an issue. That's technically correct. But what happened is it's processed just across the property line onto the Parker pit. So the dust and the traffic issue is still an issue. It's semantics, in my view. There's that. And then the last thing I'd like to say is I have two board members here. I would hope you would put this, might be too late to put this on the agenda for Monday, is there's an opening on the ZBA.
Thank you.
One of the members has to be a board member. You got 5 to choose from. So I would encourage you guys to pick somebody Monday, if possible.
We do have variances that are currently on hold.
Yeah. And
I can talk to you about that.
And also, to be fair about that, the opening is for a secretary. Because there is a chair and a vice chair, so whoever steps up there is probably going to be the secretary. FYI. Thank you.
What a great opportunity.
I thought you recused yourself.
I did, that's why I was public comment.
Anyone else for public comments?
A lot of it concerns all the gravel pit actions and the trucks. When I made the turn to come here, there were 2 of the big trucks coming and turning on J Drive to go to the gravel pit. Now, I don't know if they were going to Parker or where, but I tell you what, when they hit J Drive, they don't worry if they're going to hit you or not, because I had one, I just had to kind of get to the side of the road. They just feel like they own the road and they don't care. And that road has been patched and patched and patched, that J Drive between 15 and 16, and it is a mess. I don't know if it's the road commission that should be held responsible, but somebody's got to do something about it, because it's just, now, right now, it's not real bad because they've patched it, but somebody should be paying or putting money aside to actually put this back into service as a full-fledged good road. I'm tired of seeing all these trucks, and now they've started coming up H Drive, which is a beautiful new road. There's not a single pothole in it yet. But I don't know why suddenly they stopped. I mean, I cannot believe that Verona still has that, whatever was going on that diverted them in onto H Drive. I don't think that's still there. I haven't gone through that spot to look, but you can see that when I come out on, I think it's 14, that it doesn't seem to be there. And it just irritates me to see them taking another road and they're gonna make that a piece of crap with all their big trucks. The trucks are coming on Verona Road, they're going on H Drive, and then they're hitting 15, they're going down J Drive, or they're coming from J Drive and continuing up to 16 and 16 and a half. And I'm getting tired of this. This is not what I'm paying taxes for. So I'd like to see it fixed. And I know Dave Bossard knows very well because he mentioned it to me one time of the shape of the road. So that really should be. So that's my comments.
Thank you, Connie. Any other comments? All right, moving on to commissioner comments. Commissioner Riggs?
No, I think we're getting there. Master plan, that is.
And just think that's an amendment, right? All right, Commissioner Summers?
Just information to Connie. The reason they take H Drive is because they're hauling that gravel to the 11-mile road I-94 intersection. So they have to take the most direct route. So rather than come up to Verona Road or come to me, that's their, they're legally told they have to take H Drive, so.
I was afraid that was the case.
Well, they can't take H Drive west of Verona.
Yeah,
No, they take it and they turn over.
Correct, because there's no through trucks there over 10,000 pounds.
oh, where that low spot is it?
Oh, yeah.
That's an Emmett, actual.
That's because Wayne doesn't want him to go past his house.
No, I don't let them.
I guess that's
Okay.
Good point.
And there's actually one on N Drive too, no through trucks over 10,000 pounds. But regardless, anything else, Commissioner Summers? I'm sorry. Commissioner Woods?
Nothing really.
I was not in town for the Convis Township battery storage. So Commissioner Woods, can you just, what happened?
Pretty much a replay of the previous two planning commission meetings that I went to out there. Can't think of the name of the company as well to install it, Invenergy, thank you. They pitched their plan once more in front of the board this time. And there were comments, and a lot of it had to deal with housing values, and Invenergy was working from a previous planning commission meeting. They were approaching several of the homeowners and had actually signed contracts of some sort with a few of the homeowners, and they were getting in touch with folks. That was one of the main items of concern. And it just all boiled down to when they did a motion to approve the special land use, which is what it was, special land use for the battery energy storage system to go on to the already approved solar field. The vote ended up 2-2 tie with one abstention. So being a tie vote, it didn't pass. And 10 seconds later, the meeting was adjourned. So,
Well, I was curious, just so many of you know, and I know it's 9 o'clock here at night, but that does affect our residents as well, that we're on the border there. So it's an important issue for our township as well and our residents. And I believe Commissioner Woods was at that meeting, Commissioner Sly, but again, I appreciate any of the Marshall Township elected or appointed officials that were there representing Marshall Township as well.
and
So
haven't heard anything about Invenergy's ongoing plans, future plans at all. So everything's kind of quiet between the planning commission meeting and the township board meeting out there. And we were kept in touch by the Delaney's, who were on the 12-mile roadside of Marshall Township. They kept us all noticed on everything that was going on, and she hasn't posted anything since the township meeting, so everything's quiet right now, so.
thank you for that update. I just had a few comments. I think we answered most of Connie's questions or comments related to those items. I'll follow up with you on the Hotchkiss Cemetery. I do have just some comments for Mr. Lindsay as well. We talked about the overlay district or the corridor there with Michigan Avenue. Frankly, the Michigan Department of Transportation can realign their road if they don't get the right of way. It doesn't have to stay where it's at. That's just, we're putting that burden on the road, on the township and its residents. But frankly, roads get adjusted all the time. It's just a bit of a headache for easements and right of way purchases. But I don't want it to just be that it's the township and, our residents that have to completely handle that burden, because the Michigan Department of Transportation can do its work as well. Does it take more time? Yes. Is it a pain? Potentially. But I don't think that we can just say, and I believe that whole corridor, if I'm not mistaken, was to allow for that expansion of the roadway. So I think that's a good conversation for the Michigan Department of Transportation. Shift the road, pay for the right of way, get your easements, and not put the burden just on our residents and our businesses. Also, I just wanted to speak to, and I know, Mr. Lindsay, that you've mentioned this before, is this township has done a great job in updating the zoning map that had issues for a long time, and you've acknowledged that when you were here even previously, right? Frankly, some of this burden related to the 425 agreements, Marshall Township has the 425 agreements that we know of or have done research, as well as FOIA for recording documents at the state level. Those are on our website. I have yet to see those on the city's website, or frankly, MEDA for that matter. So some of the burden of this and, of the issues of this are huge. I know our committee knows this. We had our zoning map review committee. Some of this needs to be on the township end, the city's end, not the township completely holding that burden. Where's the map? Where's the numbers on the map? We get asked to put, to do things on our map. Well, frankly, the city needs to show me where that information is at the city. Put that information out there for the public as well. And then we wouldn't have to FOIA and we wouldn't have to go digging all the time. We have issues, as you know, and I know you know this, it came up last night at the Joint Planning Commission meeting. There's troubles and issues. There are issues where properties get combined, and then what's going to happen when some of this in the future, potentially I'll be long gone, but could revert back to the township, but all the parcels are conjoined or together or joined together. What does that look like in the future? What's the occupancy? What are the occupancy information? This came up last night at the meeting. What are the occupancy dates for some of this, including the major campus? Because this reflects the 425 agreement and the timeline related to the term of the 425 agreement. So I know that's a lot there. All I'm saying is the burden of finding all of the quote errors or issues or whatever don't just lie here at the township. That's part of the Joint Planning Commission as well, to work together to ensure that we have accurate information related to these parcels. So I hope, whether it be through the Joint Planning Commission or otherwise, that we have a better process of communicating when parcels are combined, what their new number is, what their occupancy date is, et cetera, so that we can do a better service for all of our community to understand, how that all works. So I just want to make sure that we all know that, frankly, that's a better map than what we've had. And are there errors, not only in the 425, there could be other errors that are part of that map. But I think it's very accurate. And again, we'll look to, and already have, Mr. Durian or Aaron sent this. Frankly, there's errors in this map, in his notes, that are absolutely incorrect. So, this just to be said that there's a lot of work that still has to happen. And then my last thing, that this is really a township board issue. I personally have yet to understand how water can be flowing through lines in the township without a franchise agreement or whatever needed to have happened. Like, I don't understand that. I know you're an attorney. I just don't get how we could have infrastructure built, whether it be in the public right of way or not, and water is flowing through that, and we have no franchise agreement. So, more of a comment, I guess, than a question. So we look forward to continuing to have dialogue. I think the fact that Mr. Durian was at our meeting last night, that you were here with comments this evening, we do appreciate the public comment. So now I think I'm done with my list. So with that, our next meeting is June 16th at 7 o'clock. We will have a public hearing. And with that, at what time is it? 9:06. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
And so we have a motion by Commissioner Riggs, seconded by Commissioner Summers, that the meeting is adjourned at 9:06 p.m. Thank you all very much for staying and providing comments.